So we're in the studio today
Yeah.
with Jeff Worth from Wakefield Cooperative Bank and myself, Julia Thurlow from Reading Cooperative Bank, to talk about our combination that we're really looking forward to. Jeff, how long have we known each other?
Oh, I would say probably over 20 years, Julie. It's been a long time. Although time has flown by very quickly.
I know we're very excited about this partnership between our two banks.
We are. And I've felt this way a long time. We've been great competitors, if you think about it, over the years. And competition, I think, is important for our communities. But there also comes a time for collaboration. And I think with collaboration, the community really benefits from that. And I think that's why we're here today for this partnership.
For Reading customers, there will be really not much change at all. They will, in fact, have access to more branch locations.
They will. Yep.
But their accounts aren't impacted. There really is not a change that will affect them. As far as Wakefield customers, we are on all the same systems.
We are.
The same banking system.
We do.
We have the same online system. We have the same mobile system. And I believe we have the same debit card system as well.
We do. And, we've been working hard, as you know, behind the scenes to make sure this goes seamlessly. So there's a lot of people hard at work to make sure that we get this done in the right way. And I think communication is important.
But there will be some change.
There will be some change. There will be certainly a branding change, on our legal day of merger. All of our customers will become Reading Cooperative Bank customers, but we're not changing locations. The staff will be there. The hours will be the same. And certainly there'll be communication throughout that whole process so that people will kind of land on both feet as we go through this.
The other message I think that folks in the Wakefield market area should know is that the boards are combining as well. They're the leadership of our organization, which is driven from a board of directors, which is representative of the communities that we serve. There is a voice for all of these communities on our board as a combined basis.
I think that's important. Our board has long been involved in the Wakefield area. Your board is very representative of the depositors and the people who have loans with your institution, and I think that's important, and I'm excited.
What are the impacts going to be for customers? Let's think about that and talk about that.
Yeah, I've given this a lot of thought, and one of the best parts about this partnership is that your products and my products, if there's a you and I, they're very similar. And in fact, the we products are very similar, and I think they'll be enhanced and expanded. I think a lot of people will learn to appreciate the fact that we'll be able to do everything we've already done and more by virtue of this partnership. And I think the and more is the positive news that we can convey to all of our customers. And that's, again, part of the excitement of all of this partnership.
And we are 2 weekends before the actual conversion, we are going to be doing a mock conversion. Mm-hmm. So we actually test all of the systems, all of the process in advance. And we have teams from both the Wakefield Bank and the Reading Bank that are working on this diligently at this point in time, looking out for their customers and just trying to fix everything in advance.
I just got thinking about something, and I think this is important to kind of keep in our minds as well. We've grown quite a bit over the last 5 or 6 years. And by virtue of that, we've grown with some of our customers. And some of our customers have grown on their own and actually with our help and are almost at the point where they're outgrowing our bank. Now with this partnership, they don't have to go anyplace. They'll have services. Just think of the legal lending limits we'll have. They'll be a lot higher because of that. So we'll be able to bring a lot more to the table for all of those customers, large and small, business or personal. And I think that's great.
So those are the benefits. I do know there are customers that are concerned that this is something that we are going to continue to merge and then eventually not be recognized and become the equivalent of a Bank of America. And I think we can, as mutual banks and as Cooperative Bank, reassure people that that is not the case. We actually can only grow within the boundaries of what our capital allows us to grow. And when you think about your businesses, you just referenced that ordinary growth is necessary to continue to keep pace with the technology needs and the expense of just a general operation.
Plus, we have a combined and very committed to mutual board that will help guide us as well. So community is very important.
I'm glad you brought that up as kind of a wrap, because as a depositor-owned institution, we can never become public. without our depositors giving us permission to do so. And I don't necessarily think that all depositors realize what authority they actually have within our organization, which also is the reason why we are so mission focused. We're actually always, when we create a product, thinking about, is this in the best interest of the customer? Is the way we structure this the right way so it helps people and it doesn't harm people? And that is, we behave almost like benefit corporations, but we are the original benefit corporation. We are a mutual and a cooperative.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's important. I mean, that's why we come to work every day. You know, I get here early every day to do exactly that job.
And then it's not a job.
Nope.
It's not work when you actually enjoy what you're doing.
True.
And, and there's value that you're creating.
Well said.
So we did talk about the fact that customers will be still served by the employees that they know and trust in each of our branches.
Yes.
But the other thing we didn't talk about is the fact that as a larger organization together, that creates opportunity for our staff if they want to grow and develop.
It does. And I think, that is a common thread with a lot of employees who say, I took a job here at this bank. I love it here. I love the customers. I love the location. I love what I do. Am I going to be able to grow in this institution? And sometimes it's hard to say yes to that. When we combine this together, the partnership, there'll be a lot more opportunities on a going forward basis. So the future will be a little bit brighter and have some more legs to it, something to look forward to.
So the first step is the transaction date, which is when we come together as two organizations. And then that's followed by a conversion date when the customer's two records are brought together. And then after that, it's communicating about where we're going together in the future.
And our timetable as well. Yeah. There'll be a whole flurry of activity between the transaction date and merging that database. There'll be a lot of hard work, but that's what we're here for.
And our tagline is banking for all.
Oh, so let me tell you what I think about that. So years and years and years ago, because I can say that now, I needed a bank. I had a savings account when I was a kid, and I grew up in the southeast Massachusetts, and my parents opened an account for me, and I didn't realize how much I needed that until I fell in love with my wife and decided to get married, and suddenly I needed money to pay for a wedding. And then I needed a mortgage, and I needed to raise kids, and I had a need for a loan. I had to buy a house, and I got a plan for retirement. I don't know where all that time went, Julie, but that's banking for all. I mean, there is a place in everyone's life where without a bank, you're not where you need to be in your life. And I love the fact that you can count on a community bank to be there, and welcome you in. I think that's really important. So banking for all, it's something for everybody, and it's the necessities in life that banks are there for. And
wherever you are.
Wherever you are. And in many cases, you've been in your lobbies enough, and I've been in my lobbies enough. People love coming in. Everybody knows each other's name. They bring their dogs in for the biscuits. Everybody loves coming in, and I think that's important. That's why we're up and down the main streets. It's very important.
And it does pull the community together, right?
Yep.
So it's make sure what we need to preserve, that we recognize and acknowledge, but also where do we want to go together now forward, thinking about all of the communities that we're now in. I think it's going to be very important that we engage with every customer and let them know that we value them, that we appreciate that they've chosen to bank locally with us, and what we're doing to make sure we're honoring that commitment to us.